Hi guys, welcome back to Moonlight.Ponderings. I'm Ronnie Moonborn.
And Severine.
And today we're actually talking about a ritual that we've done just recently.
Yeah.
It was something we had to do. It was like not a, oh, I want to do this. Well, no, I guess we did kind of want to do it, but I felt like for the sake of my family, we had to do it.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it before, but banishing rituals. I've never done an actual banishing ritual before this. It was more so I put intent into the universe.
Yeah. Same for me. I've never done a banishing ritual before this, but well, I really haven't had a need or like well, no, I did have an intent one time where it was just like, I need this person out of my life, whatever way possible. So.
And that it's a person. We're not going to go into too much detail, but just to know that this person is causing harm in my family's life. And all we did was ask for the universe to kind of just remove this person from our lives without any real harm happening to them.
Yeah.
And we want to go about it in a peaceful way, but we took some pictures of this big black candle that we lit because, oh my gosh, it was singing to us. Like, literally, it was making so much noise.
It was, and I had dressed it. It was about, this tall?
Yeah.
About this tall. And I had dressed it with mugwort and a couple of other herbs. I won't go into all of it because you should always do your own research for what you feel like is really needed. But I certainly felt like the mugwort was part of why it melted the way that it did. Because it seemed like it was the patches of mugwort that caught.
The mugwort caught on fire and it stayed on fire. So, statement ahead, if this is something that you want to do, like if you see the pictures and go, oh, well, that's something I would like to do, please note, when you're dealing with fire, you need to kind of stay around the area, try to keep all flammables away from the area, and monitor the candle like crazy.
I think for if you're not really doing dressing and things like that, you don't have to worry quite as much. Like, you could go into another room or whatever. But with something that's a dressed candle or something
because
like
it's got oil on it, and certain oils are very flammable.
Yeah, so you need to always be careful. I mean, do your own research and things like that. We're not like, scientific experts by any stretch.
And I mean, fire played a big role in that ritual because fire is something that expedites magic very quickly.
Which we've talked about before, that fire is the quickest form of magic. Water, earth, and air take a little bit longer. I'd say air is probably second to fire.
Yeah, air would probably be second to fire.
But water is third, and then earth takes the longest.
But I would say that earth might last the longest also, depending on the ritual.
I feel like, earth has more long-term effect.
Like if you were trying to find a lasting love, maybe do an earth spell.
And I guess that's just dependent on like what you want to do, but in most of what my understanding is, for fire, what you would want to do, simple spells, like for example, the easiest spell to do is probably to manifest an idea or something by writing it down. You can write it down on either a leaf, or you can write it down on paper. Bay leaves are really good.
I was about to say that, yeah, bay leaves.
Bay leaves are really good for wish magic or manifestations and things like that. And with fire, of course, you set it on fire, and it burns, and it's really quickly. And that's why fire is the quickest. With air, what you would want to do is basically rip the leaf apart and then set it to the wind and let it do its thing.
The only problem with that is you have to do it on a windy day.
Yeah. And then water, you would actually let it, free in a pond or a stream, or, I mean, I suppose if you really wanted, you could put it in a tub.
I'm excited. Me and a few friends are going to the beach, and one thing we planned is nighttime beach meditation.
Ooh.
Never done that before.
That does sound exciting.
And what made me think of that is because it's very windy at the beach. You always feel those coastal winds coming in. And I was like, oh, that's a good place to do that type of spell.
Mm-hmm. That would be really cool. Yeah, I feel like I would like to do a meditating thing at the beach. And earth would be whatever it is you bury it. So earth takes the longest because it actually has to decompose and things like that.
I think a cool, like if you were to do like a wish type thing, write your wish down on whatever, put it in the earth, but plant the seed with it, and then let the seed grow, and that'll be like the manifestation of...
Ooh. But still, it would be the longest one.
It would.
It would take a while. Not saying discouraging, just to keep in mind what kind of spell you're trying to accomplish.
Do your research, I would say.
Yeah.
But I will say, that being said about the ritual we did, I felt better afterwards.
I did too.
Like, if anything, my negativity about the situation was being removed. I'm hoping the person gets removed from my life in a non-threatening way, of course. Again, I don't want to see this person get hurt. If this person got hurt, it would hurt the people I love too. So
yeah.
I kind of just... That, and I don't want to see anyone get hurt.
Yeah.
It's like, this person didn't do anything too bad to warrant an actual curse.
I mean, but I think it's good to take a preemptive measure so that you don't have to stoop to that. Well, not stoop, but you don't have to go to that level where you have to curse them.
And I'm not saying everyone has to agree with what we did. Firechild didn't want to be a part of what we did.
No.
She was just like, I don't have that much experience with banishing, and I don't know how I feel about it. She was very honest, which is what you need to be.
Yeah. Which, I mean, to be fair, this is our first time. And so I would never say, like, oh, we knew everything we were doing and blah, 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 blah.
And I was very appreciative that you helped me with that.
Yeah.
I mean, because you very well didn't have to. It wasn't like, you're either with me or against me. It was like, you're either with me or I'm doing this on my own.
Which, what I did was, I suggested the candle and the spell bottle. Because those are some things that I felt like would be, like, very effective. I feel like, you know, I've done spell bottles before to kind of channel positive energies. I have a bottle that's supposed to bring peace. I have one that's supposed to bring peace for someone else that I know. And so I knew a little bit about what I was doing with that. Of course, I kind of have my own technique. And I feel like I can go into that a little bit because that doesn't necessarily have to do with all aspects of the ritual.
Well, it's also up to you how much you want to disclose.
This is true. So basically, you fill the bottle up. You don't have to fill it all the way to the top depending on how big your bottle is. Ours is not very much.
Full disclosure, we're using old liquor bottles or wine bottles.
Actually, I have it here, so I can show you guys. Have to edit this part out, I guess.
No, keep it natural.
Keep it natural. Okay, Ronnie says keep it natural, so I'm going to leave it going.
As long as we don't go au naturel.
Okay, so this is the bottle. There's only this much stuff in it. We really didn't fill it up like that. And,
there's some things we thought about afterwards that we could have done. And it was just like, learn.
So, there's a leaf with said person's name in there. It's a bay leaf. And it's not facing you guys, so you can't figure out who it is. Ha ha.
Well,
they wouldn't know anyway.
Yeah.
It was only a first name, so you'd just be like, oh, well, that could be like 15,000 people.
Right.
There's other herbs in there, obviously, like the mugwort, and that's the only one I'm going to give you guys. Because, again, you should do your own research. I don't ever say, like, oh, well, I'm not going to tell you guys because it's, you know, personal. Because I feel like some things are not, especially if you're using, like, some of the books that we are, then, you know, it's going to be the same information.
Right.
But I do feel like me telling you is not really necessary for you to do it. So, but the other stuff that is personal. So, after you fill the bottle to however much you want to do it, you put the cap on, and then you take a candle. And we used a black candle because black is, I believe black is for banishing. Either way, it was for us. So, what I did was I dripped a little bit on the sides to kind of get an even drippage and to seal the lid on top of the candle, because you don't want to open a spell bottle after you've done the spell until you're ready for it to be done. Not to say like, oh no, don't ever open a spell bottle, but you know, really the only time you should open it is if you're using it like recycling it or something like that. I feel like, of course, you know, do you? If you want to, if you feel like opening it's necessary.
Well, like, I think the best thing we could probably do is after what we want to happen happens, especially for like banishment, we might bury this bottle.
Yeah. Or even I thought about maybe like breaking it, to be honest. But again, I feel like it's spell to spell. It's not really like a every bottle works the same situation. So anyway, I layered it up enough, and then I actually sat the candle on top and just let it do its own natural drippage the rest of the way. Of course, I helped it along a couple of times and like took a, what was it, lightning struck oak?
Yes.
I took a piece of lightning struck oak that I lit the end of, and I kind of just heated around, you know, things like that. So that's pretty much how we did that. And I mean, for the most part, I feel like this is a really effective spell. I like doing spell bottles a lot.
And just side note, before every ritual we do smudge.
Yeah.
And we just, to make sure there's no negative energy around us while we do our practice.
Yeah. I went, while we actually spent, and I think it was really good that we spent probably about 30 minutes just prepping. I mean, we did not rush into this, we didn't just boom, you know.
I feel like when you do rituals in practice, at least for me, you shouldn't go at it half-ass.
No, definitely
But
not.
you should plan. Some things are a little more impromptu, I will say, like, sometimes you're just doing a cleanse.
Yeah.
And it's a simple, you light a white candle, maybe burn some sage.
Yeah.
But I mean...
Or sometimes things come to you in the moment. I mean, that's not really a problem or anything like that. If you're not feeling inclined to do things a certain way, then you shouldn't have to do them a certain way. You do them the way that it works for you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what we could talk about? The entity that visited me the other night.
Oh, yeah.
So, in the midst of some drama that was happening, and for the record, I don't like drama, guys. I really, really don't. But I was laying in my bed, and I was tired. I was very, very tired. Could not fall asleep. Mm-hmm. Tried. My eyes were closing. I'm like, man, I can't fall asleep. I open my eyes, and there's just this mass of darkness on the side of my bed. And I'm just like, whoa, 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 what is this? I called on my patron and matrons and just said, you are not welcome here, you are not welcome here, and called on them to help banish this entity, say, get rid of it, get rid of it. And I saw it slowly just move up into my bed, and I kept going, you are not welcome here, we banish you, you must leave now. And I turned on my light, and I was like, you know what? I haven't smudged my room in a good long while. I think you should monthly smudge your space where you sleep. And so I lit Palo Santo. Because I find Palo Santo to be the least offensive smelling purification thing you can burn.
Yeah, because sage is really great, and I love sage. But especially if you're sharing a space with someone, Palo Santo is probably the better way to go.
It smells clean.
It smells clean. It smells like It smells like pine after you've cleaned it. That's what it smells
Mm-hmm.
like. Like pine sol or something.
It's just a very smooth smelling. It's relaxing too. It's very relaxing.
Yeah.
But
And in the meantime, while he had this going on, I was having a dream. And in the dream, I was like going through this house, and it's a house I've never been in, and I'm very detailed based in dreams. And in the dream, there was a child and a parent, and my Melek Tau showed up and said protect them. And then it was kind of like how my past life dream was, where it was like it suddenly flashed and the faces were different and you were the child. And I was like, okay. And I didn't pay attention to who the adult was, but I mean...
interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, I think I told you parts of it, but I didn't tell you everything about the dream. But
I mean, I've always said dreams are very powerful things and their messages. Mm-hmm. I actually came to realize that I've been having a lot of past life dreams that I didn't realize were past life dreams at the time. So I remember having a dream years ago about being on a battlefield and my lover, I guess is the correct term, was on the other side of the battlefield and I actually struck him down. And then I remember just holding him and crying and kissing him. And I'm sure this was in another realm because he had blue hair. So...
oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
Take that as you will.
I had a really weird dream one time where I was a girl that was in love with this guy and I got hit by a car and it ended up that he was the driver, but we had like been like we weren't really actually like in the same vicinity at the time. And then it was like I spent the rest of the time kind of just trying to help him. Like my spirit didn't move on, and I tried to help him get past it.
Aww.
It was insane.
But
I definitely think, because I've had people tell me about really vivid dreams and stuff before, and it sounds like it might be a past life or even maybe a astral travel situation.
Well, I believe that stuff is true.
Yeah.
But going back to what you were talking about, the entity in the room and whatnot, it scared me so much because, but also kind of proved that my senses were on point because I've heard stories of people not even realizing that this stuff was attacking them and following them and doing stuff like that, but I felt something was wrong. Like I could not go to sleep. I could not let myself rest until like I did what I do. And then it just so happened a friend had gave me a piece of lepidolite.
Oh.
And that is now by my bed while I sleep as well. I'm like, you know what? Because I grabbed that afterwards. I'm like, I have a collection of little stones I keep by my bed to help me sleep. I think it's chrysocolla, amethyst, and now lepidolite.
Yeah. Lepidolite. I think I have...
Is it lepidolite? Am I saying it wrong?
I don't know. When I first saw it, I thought it was lepidolite, and I was like, that can't be right. I was gonna see. I probably have, like, you guys can't see my drawer.
She has like 20 pieces of every gem in the world.
But I probably have a piece. I usually keep one, like, I have one piece of lepidolite. I get lepidolite. Here you can get it really cheap. And so I've gifted it to people before. There it is.
Is that it raw?
Yep, that's raw.
Okay, I have a polished piece. And I'll let you try to hold that up to the camera. So.
You guys really probably know it's blurry as all get out. But
Maybe take a picture afterwards and
Yeah.
we'll have it following the video.
Yeah, we'll have it following the video. So, if you look closely, there are silver inclusions in lepidolite. I think that's how, I don't know. Someone in the comments, tell us how it's pronounced. There's silver, if you look at it though, you'll see little silver bits. And the silver is actually lithium. So this stone is really good if you're suffering from mood disorders and disabilities and such like that.
Oh, we could have used that in the banishment ritual. Didn't even know.
Well, yeah, so if I'm like aware that someone has difficulties with depression or something like that, this is probably my go-to to gift to people. Just because, just to have it by you helps stabilize and calm, and like you can tell when you hold it. I feel like that it does its work. So yeah, that's the thing about stones. Even if you might not necessarily ascribe to the idea that it's magical like we do, then there's scientific properties that go along with what we're saying. Like, you know, this is actually used in medicine.
Lithium.
Yep.
Not that I've ever taken it.
I've never taken it either, and I have heard from people who have that it's tough. And not fun sometimes.
But I feel like that's all there is to say about the banishing and whatnot.
That probably is all there is to say.
So, you guys have a blessed day, and we'll see you another time.
Bye!
Bye.